Alright, so let's show you exactly what's going on, I guess, at this point. Let's go get the camera. By the way, pardon me, I'm tired. I've been stressed about a lot of stuff, and I think I'm finally about to crash and burn here in a couple hours. Because my flight's at 7 o'clock in the morning. Yay! Alright, here we go. Ooh, over this way.
What's first?
This stuff. Is it still going? Okay. I've got a bag packed full of stuff. This has literally just become my stuff bag. This is the things that I want to take that I actually really don't feel like buying in Japan. So, towels, I think 1 or 2 purses, most of my shoes are in here, my books that I'm taking, and other stuff like that. I can only take a couple of books. Luckily, I have, which I'll get to in my carry-on, a Nook and a Kindle that will obviously replace a lot of my hardback books. Though I am taking my first 3 Harry Potters. There's a new book coming out this summer and I want to read these. And these are the new covers with the nice box. So, Sorcerer's Stone, Chamber of Secrets, and Prisoner of Azkaban are coming with me. And that's, oh my god.
It's 45 pounds.
All in this bag. This bag is all of my clothing. The airline I'm taking, Air Canada, allows me 2 checked baggages, which are going to be these, obviously. And they have to be under 50 pounds to not incur any extra fees. There's also extra fees for any extra bags you take, so I'm trying to take very minimal stuff, excuse me, just to get me started. And then Kyle will slowly start to ship me things as soon as I get my apartment, which I have an apartment, and I'll cover that in just a little bit. Now we're going to the carry-ons, which I'll do like a mini video of what's actually in my carry-on. Let me sit down. Oh. So Air Canada also allows for 2 carry-on items. I have an overnight bag or a canvas duffel bag, whatever you want to call it, and that has got video games, a neck pillow, the last 2 boxes of pendants I have from this year's Girl Scout cookie haul. Thank you, Leslie! Color pencils, markers, a small makeup bag in case I have to put something on by the time I get there, dictionary. Some of the stuff's actually coming out of the bag. So, I thought I'd be taking these books. I don't think I am at this point. I just don't have the room to carry as much as I thought I would. An extra t-shirt, there is an extra pair of underoos, and a pair of socks. I've also got 2 scarves in here. I've got a thicker one and a lightweight one, kind of depending on how cold I'm going to be on the airplane. I'm going to take some type of cover up as well, so I won't freeze to death. Now, I didn't mention this, both carry-ons have to be under 22 pounds, and right now I am very much under 22 pounds. The other bag I'm taking is a backpack. Now, I've been researching what people take in their carry-ons for the past couple of weeks, and a lot of women, for some reason, seem to use a big tote, which I find to be utterly ridiculous and utterly painful just because it's a tote. It's going to sit on one shoulder and you're just going to end up being uncomfortable all day because you're kind of going to look like this number. I prefer a backpack just because it sits on my back and it doesn't kill me. which it is also acceptable by the TSA to carry a backpack. Got keys to my locks on the suitcases. Oh, they're in here. Hold on, they're hiding. Got 2 extra batteries. These are probably just going to be covering the first part of my trip, because if I remember right, my international flight and the flight I actually have from Chicago to Toronto, they've got USB ports in the chairs, so I'll have power to at least power my iPad and all that other stuff. What else is in here? Blah blah blah. Pencil sharpener for my colored pencils. I'll get to that here in a second. Prismacolor case full of my art pens because I draw. As I mentioned, I can't carry a lot of physical books, so I have my Kindle and my Nook, which they're full of plenty of books right now that I haven't read. I've got a physical book that I am taking that I need to finish, but I've got these. So once I finish that book, I can decide what I'm going to read next. iPad, because after a while my battery on my laptop's obviously going to go kaput. So I'll have something that I can charge on the plane. And I think I'm going to try and download some Downton Abbey and something else on this. We're going to see how that goes. Just a plain campus empty notebook, just so I can write stuff down. I've got an extra notebook somewhere that's going to be like my travel journal. We'll see how that goes. For the colored pencils, I also have a Zen coloring book. I've only been working on one picture, but you know, it's something to keep my mind busy. Paracord, you never know when you're going to need this. My squishy, you never know when you're going to need him. In this compartment, I'm not actually going to unload everything because this is really kind of tightly packed, but we'll just... I've got 2 clipboards. One has my itinerary and all that other stuff in it. One has just extra paperwork I'm going to need when I get to Japan, like I've got a bus schedule to get me from the city I'm training in to the city I'm living in. I have my company handbook and printouts of what my job is going to be like. I've got a folder full of blank artist paper that I do like, and a couple of pictures I need to finish inking and or working on. And I have a book where I can practice my hiragana and katakana. I've studied it. I've been to this thing before. Luckily I did it on a pencil, so I was able to erase it and start over. The other things quickly that are going in there. Laptop. I've got my books on here that I'm working on editing and or writing, so they're going. According to the neck pillow. Somehow Genki and my Genki workbook are coming. Gonna figure that out. I have a notebook that is full of the sequel that I'm currently working on. And I have a blank notebook covered in arrows, because I'm crazy like that. And are you empty? And I have another empty notebook that I can just, you know, jot things down in as I go. And I'm taking my Maxpedition EDC organizer. Not going to go into detail with this one, but it's just carrying pencils, my friction pens, a little sticky eraser thingy, a couple Sharpies, and a flash drive, which I probably need to throw a couple extra documents onto in case something ever happens to your documents. Always have backups. I've got my paper copies. Probably going to put them on here, and then I've also got them on the Dropbox system that we've got. But that's pretty much everything right now, besides a couple my my TSA approved flight bag, which has got face wash, facial cleanser, hand sanitizer, because airports and airplanes are kind of dirty. I know they try and clean them, but they don't do the best job. Toothbrush, toothpaste, what else is in there? Hand lotion. I'm also taking my agenda because I need that, and I'm taking another pencil pouch full of just extra pens and pencils, but this has a specific reason why I'm taking it, and I'll get into that later, like once I get settled and everything. But right now that's everything going to Japan. So yeah, I know this was kind of a quick look at everything that was going. I would have filmed in the suitcases, but they're locked up. I don't feel like pulling the keys out, and Kyle was helping me pack them, and he compressed them down as best as they could, and if we're gonna undo the whole thing, it's just gonna ruin everything. But I'll probably film once I get there, once I get settled in the hotel, and let you guys know what's been in what and where everything is. What else? A couple of things that are interesting about me going to Japan right now. Obviously, this happened really, really quick. But I know a bunch of people who have gotten jobs in 2 months when it comes to teaching in Japan. I also know people who've taken a lot longer. I have another friend up in Saitama who I think started the process maybe either right around the same time I did, or maybe right before I started this whole process of trying to find a job, and he's over there now. I think his company's also in the same boat. They're wanting him there and ready before school starts, which Japanese schools will start around the either the actual 1st of April, so April Fool's Day, which that would suck, or they'll start the first full week of classes on the first full week of April. I'll figure that out when I get to my training, which will be interesting. They sent me a list of things that I had to bring to Japan. They obviously sent me an email full of, well, you essentially got the job. That was the verbal affirmation saying I have a job. They also told you how much money you needed to bring in order to get started based on the living situation. They give you a range of what the apartments are going to cost. Sorry about that, I have no idea who the number is, but we'll just leave it. The apartment I'm living in is owned by the company. I've heard it's going to be small. I'll do an apartment tour when I get there. No duh. I know you guys want to see the micro situation I'll be living in. But what's really good is the apartment I'll be living in, the gas, the electricity, and the water are included in the rent. They have allotted an amount at 108% usage of those utilities. I've also paid a little bit of extra to have a microwave, a fridge, and a wash machine when I get there for my clothes. I've also paid an extra amount to go ahead and have a futon ready for me when I get there. Now, this isn't the American futons with the bed frames. This is going to be an actual Japanese futon that these are based off of. I have to buy the extra stuff for the apartment. I'm just going to have to see what I need when I get there. I know I'm going to need a table. Other than that, right now I'm just waiting for an extra document that they said they were going to email me